Hey, Faith family and friends, this is Pastor Chris, and I hope you're enjoying Holy Week as we enter day 3 of the Holy Week experience. You know, Tuesday of Holy Week is a day that a lot of people have different ideas about what happened with Jesus. Some say he rested, some say that but there's a story that I want us to highlight that I really think speaks to you and I as believers, and it's found in Matthew 21. Verse 18 and following. And it says this, "In the morning he was returning to the city, and he became hungry. And seeing a fig tree by the way, he went to it and found nothing on it but only leaves. And he said to it, 'May no fruit ever come from you again.' And the fig tree withered at once. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, 'How did the fig tree wither at once?' And Jesus answered them, 'Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, it will happen. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith.'" I don't know what your favorite cookie is, but one of my favorite cookies growing up was the Fig Newton. I love Fig Newtons. In fact, I'm just going to enjoy a bit of a Fig Newton even right now, if I can get this out. What I've always liked about the Fig Newton is I don't really know what this bread is like around there, what that really is. It's unlike any other cookie. But it's a chewy fruit. In fact, figs look like this on this box. And the way a fig tree works is that before the fig tree actually produces these figs, the fig tree will actually get very leafy. And at the time of the Passover, as Jesus was making his way around and he saw this leafy fig tree, he was hungry, obviously. So he wanted to go get something to eat. Leaves on that tree would have indicated that it maybe didn't have mature figs, but it had these little nodules. And so Jesus, by the way, wasn't rich. He wasn't wealthy. He was poor. And lots of poor people would, particularly when they would see a fig tree, they would stop if they had leaves and they would eat these little nodules off of these trees. But when Jesus went to that particular tree, here's what disturbed him. It had leaves but no fruit. It had leaves but no fruit. What was he saying about that? What was his take on that? Why was he so upset? I think he was upset for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Jesus never likes hypocrisy. Jesus never likes whenever we look one way, but our fruit indicates another thing. You know, it happens, doesn't it? Where people look really good and they look like they have it all together, but then you find out perhaps they don't. Jesus also he cannot imagine a non-fruit bearing Christian. You know, Jesus told us in the scriptures, he said this, he said, "I appointed you to go bear fruit and fruit that would last." So Jesus has called us to bear fruit. Now understand, sometimes fruit is bountiful. Sometimes it's easy to see lots of fruit in a person's life. I mean, things are going good. Maybe you've experienced that personally. There's seasons when your prayer life is really great. And man, whenever you're just demonstrating all the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, all those things. And they're just coming easy. But then there's other times whenever, you know what, you might not have a bountiful crop, but you have some fruit. What Jesus can't imagine is a non-fruit bearing Christian. And then he ends that text by saying this. He says, hey, whenever you have this fruit, whenever you're walking in this way with me, then your prayer life has power. And so I think the challenge of the fig tree is to ask ourselves this question is this: are we the real deal? Are we the real deal? Are we what we say we are? This is a moment for us to look introspectively, and particularly as we have a time of quarantine, where perhaps you're able now to read the Bible in a way like never before because you have the time, right? You're able to pray more now. Why? Because you have the time. The thing that people don't have an excuse for anymore is, I don't have time. So many times when I counsel with people, and they'd say, well, I'd like to do this. I'd like to read the Bible more. I'd like to get more acquainted with Scripture. I'd like to pray, but I don't have time. Well, here's the thing that COVID-19 has done. It has given us time, and perhaps it gives us time to examine our lives to see what is truly there. God bless you as you ask the hard questions about yourself.